440, welcome back. Our San Antonio Spurs winless in Vegas after dropping their third straight game of NBA Summer League play to the Houston Rockets. The Spurs blew an 18-point lead at Thomas and Mack Arena. That's despite the fact Spurs first rounder at number 20, Malachi Branham, had his best game yet. He had 20 points, but also had 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Third overall pick in the draft, the Rockets' Jabari Smith scored 19 with 9 rebounds in the 97-84 loss to the Rockets. Okay, so the Spurs will try to get their first win against the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow. That game is set for 2 p.m. Speaking of the Hawks, here's their newest member of the team, former Spurs point guard DeJounte Murray, coming off his All-Star season. He was traded to Atlanta for 3 first-rounders. DeJounte couldn't thank the Silver and Black enough for placing him on a team that could contend for the NBA title now.
That's the Spurs organization, you know, they're first class and, you know, I think, like I said, me and Pop, it was an agreement and, you know, they just want the best for DeJounte and that's something that you got to respect, you know, have a lot of respect for organization, you know, because I feel like that's rare and for them to send me somewhere where I wanted to go at that, you know, speaks volumes.
After having a much-deserved weekend off, San Antonio FC resumes playing the United Soccer League this Saturday when they host Atlanta United, 8 p.m. at Toyota Field. SAFC still number 1 in the Western Conference, 4 points ahead of the Colorado Switchbacks, and taking on an Atlanta club that is struggling this season. San Antonio Missions baseball taking on the Sod Poodles of Amarillo last night. Missions offense jumped out to an early lead, but those pesky Poodles managed to come back. Missions fall to Amarillo. The final score, 6-5.
Those Poodles have been tough.
Tell you.
Time now, 4:42 and 82 degrees for now. Still ahead, some easy things you can do to keep your air conditioner running more efficiently. And welcome back. It's 4:45. ABC News has confirmed that prosecutors are seeking an indictment against South Carolina lawyer Alex Murdaugh for the murder of his wife and son. ABC's Eva Pilgrim has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a major development in the Murdaugh family mystery. ABC News has confirmed prosecutors in South Carolina are seeking an indictment against Alex Murdaugh for the brutal deaths of his wife and son.
Are they breathing?
No, ma'am. My wife and my son.
And what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdaugh. Please hurry. Neither one of them is moving.
Alex Murdaugh making that 911 call just over a year ago, claiming to have found Maggie and Paul Murdaugh shot to death outside their rural South Carolina home.
Maggie loved Paul like nothing else on this earth.
I can tell you, he was willing and still is willing to do anything that's asked of him. He wants this solved.
Prosecutors now preparing to charge Murdaugh, a long-standing person of interest. Coming up at 7 a.m., we'll talk live to legal expert Dan Abrams. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
4:46 right now. Well, there's never a good time for your home's air conditioner to go on the fritz, but this summer would probably be the worst.
So 12 on your sides, Marilyn Moritz has some things you can do to keep that AC working correctly.
As the temperature soars, so does Darius McInnes's popularity. He and the AC specialists at Schaefer Services are busy with calls for help.
Something's gone out, like inside coils leaking, outdoor coils leaking, the condenser stopped working.
Not cool. To avoid an AC emergency, McInnes says maintenance is everything. By a pro at least once a year. But there are some things you can do too, like be sure your condenser is free from brush, leaves, and dirt. It needs space to do its job.
You do want to make sure you hose this down once or twice a year.
Turn it off first.
Just take a water hose and give it a good rinse all the way around.
A big culprit for AC trouble, filthy filters. Check and change them more often in summer.
If your filter's dirty and it's in there, you might as well just not have no filter. You're basically suffocating your system by not changing out your filter.
And help your AC out by giving it less work to do. Go ahead and pull those blinds and shades to keep the heat out of the house. Run those ceiling and floor fans and raise the thermostat a bit when you leave the house, but don't turn it off. Finally, with the sun beating down on your roof, you need adequate insulation in that attic.
Without having any insulation, you're causing your unit to work harder, which is going to shorten the life of your unit.
And this is no time for the air conditioner to call it quits. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
448, checking traffic right now. Everything looks pretty good right now. We'll see if there's anything showing up on TransGuide. The only slowdown I'm seeing on the map right now, eastbound 1604 at Northwest Military. I don't see an accident, but of course that is a construction zone, and they just might be out there right now trying to beat the heat.
Yeah, good news for now, and a good idea to try to beat the heat. But overnight, we had a nice moon to look at.
Yeah, a full moon, and if you looked over toward the southwest, I just kind of stuck my head out the door before the show and looked off to the southwest, and it is gorgeous out there. And this is a beautiful shot. I love the bird feeders and looking through the window, sneaking through the tree limbs. It's a great shot there. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Yes, it is so pretty. All right, we do have just partly cloudy skies as of right now. Yesterday we had some of those clouds in the morning. It looked encouraging. You know, 9 o'clock in the morning, 8:30, it wasn't bad to go outside because we didn't have that sun just beating down on top of us. But today looks like we got a lot more sunshine out there. So month of July so far, every day has been above normal. We are at 13 days in a row with triple-digit temperatures, and the forecast all the way through today and going into next week is for obviously above normal temperatures. We just cannot catch a break. Of course, the hottest day so far, 107, and that was just a couple of days ago. 105 yesterday. That was another record high temperature yesterday. 89 is what it feels like right now. 85 Stinson, 87 in Castroville, and 90. Again, it is 4:50 in the morning, 4:49, and it feels like 90 degrees in Canyon Lake. And one of the reasons the humidity dew point temperatures, the kind of the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, is up considerably here in town, up 4 degrees, 2 degrees in New Braunfels. Doesn't seem like a lot, but again, with these kind of warm temperatures, it doesn't take that much. We'll only drop down to right around 80 this morning, so we'll still stay about 5 above normal with some clouds hanging around here. And then already up to 90 at 10 o'clock, 98 at noon. That sun comes out, and boy, temperatures are just going to skyrocket like they did yesterday with those clouds that were kind of hanging in there, and then all of a sudden clouds cleared out, and I mean, again, the oven door was opened up. We're going to make it up to 103 later on today. Once again, 10% chance for a stray shower or two. Of course, even though the humidity drops, we are still going to have heat index readings up there around 105, even higher than that. And you just want to drink as much water as you can and stay in the shade as much as you can. A few clouds hanging around here this morning, not much. And then later on this afternoon, again, 1 or 2 of those showers or a thunderstorm is going to try and pop up around here. Probably count them on one hand. That'll be the extent of it. All right, forecast. Again, we are going to be up to the upper 90s at noon. 95 is the normal high temperature, the average high temperature as of today. So already above that at noon. 103, mostly sunny skies, a stray shower or 2. Heat advisory in effect 1 o'clock up until 8 o'clock. Again, we'll have those heat index readings in some areas going to be pushing about 109, 110. And other than a couple of minor fluctuations, just don't really see any big change. You know, it tries. We always look at the longer range computer models. One day look encouraging, and then the next day it's sort of like, No, we're not gonna break this string. So
again, I appeal to Mother Nature to reach out to us. Tell us who made you so mad. We will try to make it right, and we apologize.
Very angry, yes.
And I hate to say it, but looking back to the top 3 of triple-digit days for a year, most of those were in August in those years.
Goodness.
So unless we have, I don't know, an Arctic front moving on through here, I think it's inevitable this year.
Yeah, it kind of is. Thank you, Mike. 452, 81 degrees.
And coming up next, an actress gets her first 2 Emmy nominations, plus 2 big Hollywood actors are celebrating birthdays today.
We have your lottery numbers this morning. Pick 3, 379, Fireball 4. Your daily 4 numbers, 1400, Fireball 1.
Cash 5, 6, 8, 11, 28, 29. And your Mega Millions, 4, 7, 10, 45, 64, Mega Ball 12, Mega Flyer 2.
5 till 5, an actress celebrates her first 2 Emmy nominations, and a popular book hits the big screen.
For our latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
Laughter, tears, and mom. That's how actress Sydney Sweeney celebrated her first 2 Emmy nominations Tuesday, posting on Instagram the moment after the announcement where she connected with her mother. Sweeney nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama for her role as Cassie Howard in Euphoria, and also Best Supporting Actress for the anthology series The White Lotus, both shows on HBO. Better Call Saul and its star Bob Odenkirk also up for a bunch of Emmys. Odenkirk revealing that next week's episode is the one during which he suffered a heart attack while filming. He tells The Hollywood Reporter he filmed most of the scene, collapsed, and then came back to finish it 5 weeks later, and he hopes viewers won't notice anything. The wildly popular book Where the Crawdads Sing hits the big screen this weekend. Daisy Edgar Jones stars.
I think there certainly is a pressure.
Telling us that when you're adapting something people love, there are going to be high expectations, but she hopes fans are open to their interpretation.
Accepting that it is going to be slightly different, and you hope you can just offer a different angle into those characters and that they can complement each other.
Where the Crawdads Sing is in theaters tomorrow night. And a couple of iconic veteran actors with birthdays today. Harrison Ford turning 80, while Patrick Stewart is 82. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
I'm a big Better Call Saul fan. There are only like 5 episodes left and the season is done.
I hear it's pretty good.
The series is done.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be it. 456, 81 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, parents and community leaders react to video released of the Uvalde school shooting. What Uvalde's mayor is saying about the development.
Plus, Amazon could soon start rolling out new smart shopping carts at a Whole Foods near you. That's coming up in your Morning Tech Bites.
And taking a look outside with TransGuide, looking there at I-35 at Loop 410 where things are moving. But we're going to be checking in with Stephen Cavazos very soon.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
You didn't have to do this. I don't want to hear my children scream. I didn't want to hear the gunfire. That wasn't needed. That was unnecessary.
Making news this morning as the community of Uvalde reacts to the new release video of the school shooting. County leaders are asking the governor for a special session to raise the age to buy an assault-style gun.
And the committee investigating the riot at the U.S. Capitol releases new evidence of how far former President Trump and his allies wanted to go to keep him in the White House.
Outside with live cam down to 81 degrees. Will we hit 80? We're hoping it drops a little bit more after another extraordinarily hot day here in South Texas, and we'll talk about what lies ahead. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 13th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you've had a great week trying to stay cool. We're just getting creative at this point.
Yeah, Mike, it was 107 Monday, 105 yesterday. Can we maybe go for 103 today?
That's what I'm shooting for today. But okay. I mean, we're still obviously way above normal. We'll take, it just didn't seem like it was as, and I know 2 degrees can make a lot of difference, but I don't know if it's my imagination. I was just getting used to it, but it didn't seem as, just ridiculously hot yesterday. It was just plain old hot. So 82 right now, and we do have a couple of clouds out there. Look at the bottom number. Dew points at 73, and that means we got a bunch of heat index. I mean, it just feels like it's mid-afternoon already out there right now. We are going to get up to 103 later on this afternoon. The aquifer, it took a fairly big hit yesterday, down nearly 2 feet. Of course, as I always keep saying, check with your local watering authority, your local municipality as far as any watering restrictions in your neighborhood. And mold is on the moderate side. Pigweed is low. So you got low 80s around much of the area, and then you got a bunch of humidity, so it feels like 88 right now at Canyon Lake. It at least dropped a couple of notches from last half hour. Feels like 87 Castroville, as well as out there at the airport. 85 is the heat index right now at Stinson, and warm, humid, or I should just say hot and humid this morning, and then later on this afternoon, blisteringly hot. We're making up to 103, a couple of stray showers out there. Most of us won't see any rain, and down a degree or 2 tomorrow, maybe the next couple of days. A shower is possible tomorrow, but even going into the weekend, minor fluctuations. We're still going to be staying in the low hundreds around here, and really even going into the first part of next week, don't see any decent sort of relief around here. Have all the details for the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, good morning, sir. Anything going on?
Flashing lights again, Mike, this time 410 at McCullough. This is a shot that some of our viewers may be familiar with. We've actually showed you this a few times this week already. TxDOT crews are working on the roadway there, and right now it does look like a pretty busy spot near North Star Mall, so got to make sure that you watch out there. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of information at this time as to what type of work is taking place, but we see those lights out there. We want to make sure that we give those crews plenty of room, and hopefully they'll be wrapping up before it gets pretty busy out there. But let's go ahead and give you a wide look at the map, because not really a lot to talk about for a Wednesday morning, pardon me. As you can see, just a lot of those active construction spots, which will continue to break down as the morning does go on. But for now, if you're going to be traveling into the Alamo City, let's check those travel times. It's still pretty good right now, and we're not seeing any delays just yet. That journey from Bernie, I-10 eastbound, 24 minutes at this hour. Don't rush if you're coming in from Bulverde. It's 27 minutes to the downtown area, and right now, 35 is looking like a 25-minute drive time in the southbound lanes heading in from New Braunfels. So things are looking like they're shaping up to be quite fine so far. 410 at McCullough, once again, we see that construction taking place. We'll keep an eye on it and give you those alternative routes as the morning does go on. Mark, stuff.
Thank you very much, Stephen. New this morning, the San Antonio Fire Department responded to a massive fire on the city's southwest side.
Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live. And Jonathan, we know this started last night. What can you tell us this morning?
Good morning, Stephanie. Well, I can tell you it was definitely an intense situation for San Antonio Fire Department to respond to the scene. I can tell you, photojournalist Kenny and I were just in that area. We spoke to some folks who live in that surrounding area and say they stepped out of their homes and heard loud explosions, loud pops. We do know now that it was as a result of this fire. But let's take a look at what that scene looked like close to midnight last night. We know firefighters arrived at a heavy fire at this auto repair and storage facility on the 11,000 block of Gaylord Drive. This is just outside of Southwest Loop 410. Now, several vehicles on fire, as well as the building and the grass around that structure. Firefighters tell us they had to run a long line to get water to that fire. But the good news here is no injuries were reported. We know arson responded to the scene. Of course, the cause of this fire remains under investigation. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Jonathan, thank you. Another heated city council meeting in Uvalde last night. The meeting happening just hours after the Austin American-Statesman leaked video from Robb Elementary the day of the school shooting. The video is graphic. You hear gunfire inside the classrooms and law enforcement waiting in the hallway before they breached the door and killed the gunman. The video originally was supposed to be released Sunday, first privately to families and then publicly shortly thereafter. Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin did not hold back in criticism of the early release.
The gunmen come in and hear the gunshots. They don't even relive that. They've been through enough. And that was the most chicken way to put this video out.
Anybody see them do a good job? Just because they tried to go in there, was that good enough? Is that good enough for the people that were bleeding out? That wasn't good enough.
While the release of the video took much of the attention at City Council last night, the vote to accept Uvalde CISD Police Chief Pete Arredondo's resignation from City Council was met with cheers. Now the Uvalde County Commissioners want Governor Abbott to call a special session of the legislature to consider increasing the age from 18 to 21 to legally purchase assault-style rifles in Texas. And we continue getting more reaction. State Senator Roland Gutierrez calls the video's sudden release appalling. You can continue to follow this story online at KSAT.com.
There is some mixed reaction from people in Pleasanton after some break-ins at a school and the district police department. The suspects are in custody this morning, and this happened on July 7th, the day before a new district's police chief took over the department. Now, according to Chief Michael Gilbert, 2 men were able to break the lock off 2 exterior doors with a crowbar. Once inside, they stole a department-issued AR-15 and shotgun, as well as a handgun and a long rifle from an evidence locker. The chief says the weapons from evidence are from a year-and-a-half-old case.
It's insane. This was not just a simple school break-in. This was a mass security breach where deadly weapons were taken.
I think that the district is well aware of we've had issues and they are trying to take care of it.
Gilbert tells us the suspects were caught a few hours after the theft and faced multiple felony charges. He says his department now has a new 12-gun safe to store its weapons.
Now to the new evidence from the January 6th committee focusing on former President Trump, claiming his actions summoned the mob to storm the U.S. Capitol.
The committee claims that Trump even planned the march to the Capitol. ABC's Jay O'Brien has the latest.
This morning, the committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol suggests former President Trump may have tried to influence witness testimony after calling a witness not yet seen at the hearings.
That person declined to answer or respond to President Trump's call and instead alerted their lawyer to the call. Their lawyer alerted us. And this committee has supplied that information to the Department of Justice.
It's unclear what, if anything, the Justice Department will do with the committee's referral. The committee heard testimony yesterday from former White House counsel Pat Cipollone, who described a, quote, unhinged meeting at the White House on December 18th involving a group of outside advisors to the president looking to challenge the 2020 election results. Among them, retired General Michael Flynn and lawyers Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, who wanted Trump to issue an order to seize voting machines. Cipollone says he raced to the Oval Office when he found out about the meeting.
To have the federal government seize voting machines, it's a terrible idea for the country. That's not how we do things in the United States.
When the meeting finished, Trump tweeted his supporters calling on them to come to Washington on January 6th, saying it will be wild. Stephen Ayers, an Ohio man who pleaded guilty to participating in the riot, testified that that tweet from Trump inspired him to travel to Washington.
Basically, the president got everybody riled up.
The committee also showed a drafted tweet not sent by Trump, which called on his supporters to, quote, march to the Capitol on January 6th. Committee members claim it shows the attack was premeditated. The committee's next public hearing is set for next Thursday. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
509, 81 degrees.
And still ahead, Amazon smart grocery carts are coming to some Whole Foods stores soon.
And next, a look at some of the local businesses that are booming thanks to people trying to escape the Texas heat.
Definitely a good idea to do this afternoon again. We're starting the warm, still 81 degrees, and we'll get even warmer this afternoon. We'll be checking in with Mike very soon.
The summer heat hitting all of us hard, but it's pouring in some cold, hard cash for businesses that can help keep you cool.
Our KSAT crew visited some ice cream and fruit cup shops out on the west side, and workers there say they are grateful to see the steady flow of customers. So movie theaters say they are also seeing a boom in business and a combination of hot movies and the heat wave. Santikos at West Lakes just got a renovation and now has also some cup holders that can keep your drinks cold. And believe it or not, one of the coolest public places in San Antonio is a frosty 45 degrees, and it's not as busy as you would think.
We do see a little bit, it kind of honestly depends on the day. You will notice on days that it's like people think that it's going to get hotter. We will see a few more people show up rather than going to, the park.
The Ice and Golf Center at Northwoods has public skating hours daily between 12:30 and 3 p.m. for about $14. You can find out more about these locations on our website at ksat.com.
I don't even need to skate. I just want to go stand near the ice for a little while.
Right, yeah, can we just hang out in here?
Ooh, I need a jacket. Remember those days?
Yeah, that was nice.
514, about 81 degrees.
And still ahead, details about the new Nokia phone that has a hidden charging case.
Plus how the New York Times is making it easier for you to play Wordle on all your devices.
Nobody does anything perfectly the first time, or the second, even the third. We learn from mistakes. But when it comes to retirement planning, who can afford mistakes? Smart Asset can help you avoid those unpleasant mishaps with a free guide, The 7 Crucial Mistakes of Retirement Planning. We also match you with up to 3 vetted fiduciary financial advisors who can help you achieve your retirement goals. Using Smart Asset is free with no obligation. Discover what others learned the hard way at smartasset.com.
You won't faze me. Unlike Zyrtec, Allegra won't make me drowsy.
Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. So take Allegra before allergy symptoms take over you. And for kids, try allergist-recommended non-drowsy children's Allegra.
Want more from your vitamins? Get more with Nature's Bounty. From the first ever triple action sleep supplement to daily digestive support to more wellness solutions every day. Get more with Nature's Bounty.
In today's Tech Bites, more high-level shopping at Whole Foods. Amazon is bringing smart grocery carts to a store near Boston. The Dash carts track and tally items so shoppers can pay without standing in a checkout line. A new Nokia phone has a unique feature, a built-in charging case for the device's wireless earbuds. The charging compartment is hidden underneath a sliding plastic cover. The device is being released in the UK this month, but there's no word on a US release. And a welcome change for millions of Wordle fans. Players will soon be able to link their progress to their New York Times account. The upgrade was announced by the Times, which purchased Wordle this year. Now, with the change, your stats and winning streaks will now carry across all devices you play Wordle on. Now, as a Wordle player myself, I'd say my stats are average, but that's just mean. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
He was trying to use
average is the mean. The stats are just average. That's just mean. So,
do they give him these in advance so he has time to plan, or?
I think he comes up with it. Yeah.
He's just a clever guy.
Yeah.
5:18 right now.
He's such a card he needs to be dealt with, right?
He's such a card he needs to be dealt with.
Oh, that's
I like that one.
I like that one, Mike. But okay. All right, let's get a look at the roadways. I-10 at Callahan East looking pretty quiet right now. Not really seeing a whole lot out there this early in the morning, but that's some great news, especially if you are an early morning commuter like us here on GMSA. Just remember to drive safe. 281 at San Pedro looks like it may be getting just a tad bit busier. But let's go ahead and take a look at the map, because what we showed you earlier is still the same case. Lots of that construction that we're seeing taking place in and around the Alamo City. But this is actually going to be starting tonight. Let's go ahead and take you up to Stone Oak, right over here along 281, the north side of San Antonio. Bridge work will take place starting tonight. That will be from 8 in the evening to 6 in the morning. Full closure of the Wilderness Oak intersection. And if you can hear that, that's David Sears groaning already. He commutes on 281 all the time and tells us about the work that's being done there. So make sure that you plan ahead. And of course, we're going to have more information on our website, ksat.com/traffic. But back here on TransGuide, right now is a good time to head out the door.
You didn't hear the one that I read earlier this morning, did you, Stephen?
Was this about the chickpeas?
No, I heard you say that. That one was funny.
The Black Eyed Peas can sing us a song, but the chickpeas can only hum us one.
It's good. I wonder what Andrew Dimber would say to that.
Chickpeas hummus?
You and Andrew Dimber are about to become best friends.
Yeah. Be a little battle.
Card need to be dealt with.
I like that.
I like that.
We're coming up with anything here just to not talk about the weather. I hate to say it because it is just so blisteringly hot out there. Beautiful view yesterday. You know, those clouds in the morning, we had those couple little showers that were popping up here and there, and those clouds were hanging in there in the morning, and there was some encouragement thinking, all right, we're not going to get, you know, that early start on the heating, and so we may not have gotten as hot. But boy, as soon as those clouds cleared on out, temperatures just skyrocketed. And yes, we did make it up to 105 yesterday. We've got just a couple of clouds out there right now, and 82 degrees at the airport. Same thing Castroville as well as Canyon Lake. And then the humidity, it is high this morning. Again, you get these dew points, 74, 75. That's just wet towel sort of humidity when you walk outside. So heat index reading is 85, Stinson 87 at the airport, and it still feels like 89 degrees up the road there in Canyon Lake. And temperatures will drop maybe another couple of degrees this morning. And again, that's kind of been part of the problem. It's so hot in the afternoon, and it just doesn't cool down all that much in the overnight hours. So we're still about 5 degrees above normal. 95 and 75 are the high and low respectively this time of year. 94 at 11 o'clock, already up to 100 at 1, and then we're going to top off at 103 today. So at least we're down couple of notches. Still will have somewhat of a heat index to deal with, and one or two of those stray showers out there. Of course, we had a few of them yesterday that popped up and was looking kind of encouraging out in the hill country especially, and then today is going to be just about the same situation. A few clouds here and there around this morning, a lot more sunshine than this afternoon, and then those couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm popping up here and there, and it does look like that's going to be the situation into tomorrow as well. Might actually have a couple extra clouds hanging around here tomorrow, which hopefully will trim temperatures another couple of degrees. And again, a few of those scattered showers here and there around the area. But again, overall, we're just not seeing any real substantial changes to the pattern. 98, partly cloudy skies today at noon. High temperature makes it up to 103. A lot of sunshine out there. A couple of stray showers going to be popping up here and there. And of course, we do have the heat advisory. No excessive heat warnings It's still brutally hot. And even though there's nothing posted in your area formally, obviously you want to take it easy with these temperatures. And over the next few days, we stay in triple-digit range, albeit down a couple of notches. But looks like we will kind of creep back up going into Saturday, Sunday, and the first part of next week.
Again.
We don't know what to say anymore. Yeah.
Hard need to be dealt. We'll just go back to the puns.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Do what we need to do to cope. 523, 81 degrees.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, Bruce Springsteen reunites with the E Street Band. Plus, Ashanti releases her first kids book.
525, the boss will be hitting the road with some familiar faces, and Ashanti releases her first children's book.
Here's CNN's Rick Damigella with the Hollywood Minute.
Well, I got this guitar and I learned how to make it talk.
Bruce Springsteen is heading back on the road. The legendary rocker announced a 2023 tour with his E Street Band. This marks the first time Springsteen and the group have played in concert together since 2017. The tour kicks off February 1st in Tampa, Florida.
Am I your girlfriend now?
Do you want to be? The new drama Where the Crawdads Sing features a number of underwater sequences, but star Daisy Edgar Jones says filming an important wet kiss was anything but romantic.
We would sort of go underwater, your legs would be splayed out, and then like obviously when you kiss, like you're opening your mouth, so then both of our mouth and nose would be flooded with this water, and then you'd come up and just exchange water between each other's mouths.
Ashanti has released her first children's book. Titled My Name is a Story, the singer explains what she hopes readers take away from the inspiring tale.
I wanted to do something that was uplifting and encouraging and empowering for kids that have unique names to just feel great about them, you know, and be excited.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
527, 81 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, some customers say Subway's tuna sandwiches are a little fishy, why a judge is agreeing with them.
Plus, new Pat looking to cool off with you at your home this morning. We'll check in with the animal defense. What a sweetheart he is.
And the month of July has been named by officials as Purposeful Parenting Month. But what exactly does that mean? Well, ahead on GMSA at 6, we're going to tell you how your family can benefit.
Breaking news this morning following the Supreme Court abortion ruling, the Department of Justice now forming a reproductive rights task force.
And taking a look outside with the live cam this morning, we're starting at 81. It's going to be another hot afternoon, and we're going to need to find new ways to stay cool.
If we could, I would knock out all our errands right now. The problem is nobody's open.
That's true. I mean, I guess do the things you can.
Right.
You know, while you can this morning. Maybe you can like check your mail that you didn't check yesterday.
That's a good idea.
Take out the dog.
I'll be right back. But first, good morning. It is Wednesday. It is July 13th, and we are trying to break up the monotony of the dog days of summer.
Yes. We are hoping today will be a few degrees cooler, and, you know, these are the little things that we wish for at this point, Mike.
Yeah, anything's better than 107 a couple of days ago. Yesterday, 105. Today, okay, we'll knock a couple of notches off it again, 103. So we'll take it. I mean, that's still 8 degrees above normal. We'll still have some humidity to deal with this afternoon. There's a bunch of it out there this morning. 82 right now. Dew point, 73. You get above 60, you feel it. You get above 70, and especially when temperatures are still hanging in there at 82 degrees, which, by the way, is 7 above normal. You got heat index readings of 89 in Canyon Lake. 87 is what it feels like when you step outside out there at the airport. Castroville, you're at 87, and 85 down the road at Stinson. Yeah, it's just, I mean, we don't cool off that much, obviously, in the overnight hours. Mold is moderate. Pigweed is on the low side. Of course, the updated count's going to be coming out in just a couple of hours. 98 at noon, 103 for a high temperature. Yes, we will have 1 or 2 of those stray showers out there like we've had the past couple of days. Most folks won't be seeing anything, but what just about everybody's going to be seeing, heat advisory is going to affect at 1 o'clock this afternoon up until 8 o'clock tonight, right along the I-35 corridor and then east of there. And again, even though it's not anything formally posted, it's not like it cools down as soon as you go out I-10 in toward Kendall County or up around Bernie. So yeah, you just have to take it easy. Again, even though nothing formally is posted, it just doesn't hit those specific criteria for heat advisories. As far as longer range forecast, maybe some fluctuations here and there. We'll take a look ahead and see what's in store for the weekend if there's any more relief in sight. Details just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, what's going on, Stephen?
People are moving, maybe getting some errands out of the way, like getting their gas right now or their car fueled up. But you can see 281 at Sprucewood. Not really a lot to talk about, thankfully. The morning has started off with pretty quiet, but looks like in some areas like US 90, 410, and we are seeing a little bit more activity out there. But keep in mind, what we're seeing right there along 410 is just some construction. So it does look like those crews still remain. So keep that in mind. That is near North Star Mall. If that is through your commute, you'll likely see that. But right now, we're really not seeing any problems that would cause those issues for you for this early morning drive. Wide look at the map does show up. Again, lots of green on the screen. Even where we see that construction, we're not spotting a buildup just yet, but that's an area that is prone to more of that buildup as the morning does continue if we see that those crews out there. However, really just, again, seeing a lot of green across the board there, and that's the same case right here for those travel times. Let's check out I-10 westbound if you're coming in from Seguin, 28 minutes at this hour, little more than half an hour on 87 if you're coming in from Livonia on those northbound lanes, and 28 minutes traveling in from Floresville. So no problems that we're seeing just yet, but we take it back here to TransGuide 410 north at Ingram. You can see the morning is off. People are moving. We'll continue to watch the roads closely and have more updates on some of those construction spots coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, San Antonio police say one person is dead after being hit twice by vehicles. It happened just after 10 o'clock last night near the intersection of Walsham and Abbey Place on the northeast side near Eisenhower. SAPD says the driver hit the man who had run out into the street. Police say the victim was hit again by an SUV and dragged down the road. SAPD says the driver of that vehicle did not stop to try to help. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. So far, no word on any arrests.
Also new this morning, San Antonio police say a man is in critical condition after someone shot him during an argument and possible assault. This happened around 11 last night in the 8600 block of Harvest Moon west of Loop 410 on the city's west side. Now police say a woman claims she was being assaulted by the man, so she shot him. Police say the woman drove the man to a nearby fire station for help, and he was taken to the hospital with possible life-threatening injuries. The woman was detained for questioning.
Abortion access continues to be a big issue here in the U.S. Two more courts just pushed back on state abortion restrictions.
And Congress and the Biden administration are also getting involved. CNN's Amy Kiley has the latest.
More state courts are weighing in on abortion access, and the federal government is too. A second state court has temporarily blocked Louisiana's ban. In Minnesota, a district judge has declared several abortion access and care restrictions unconstitutional. Now, bans and restrictions are likely in these states, in limbo in these others, and already in place in these areas. People can travel across state lines for the procedures, but some worry about efforts to make that harder.
As an African American, what I hear when I hear that is fugitive slave laws.
Those aren't the only strong words of late. In a Senate committee hearing yesterday, a witness pushed back when asked why she doesn't call all people who can get pregnant women.
Your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence.
Senator Josh Hawley bristled at that characterization. House and Senate committees are discussing abortion access again today. That as the Justice Department announces a new reproductive rights task force. It's to safeguard things like patient privacy and access to medication abortion. Some Republicans would rather see the ban on protests at the homes of Supreme Court justices enforced.
I've called on the Justice Department to enforce the law and protect the justices and their families.
Other lawmakers say they're concerned about other rights the High Court might strip away.
There is more to come.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Congressional staffers in Washington want action on climate change. More than 200 of them sent a letter to Democratic leadership in the House and Senate. They want Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Pelosi to pass the climate and clean energy package. Staffers signed the letter anonymously with initials. Senator Schumer is trying to negotiate a package that addresses energy and climate change as well as inflation and the cost of prescription drugs.
Wall Street investors are worried about today's new inflation data that's soon to be released. All three U.S. stock indices fell Tuesday. The Dow lost 192 points, and both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ composite dropped nearly 1 percentage point. The new inflation report from the Labor Department is expected to show that prices surged 8.8% last month.
Twitter wants billionaire Elon Musk to hold up his end of the deal and actually buy the company, so it's suing him to force him to do so. The social media giant has filed a lawsuit against Musk in Delaware court. It comes days after Musk sent a letter to the company saying he wants to terminate the $44 billion purchasing agreement. He claims the company is withholding data about the number of bots and spam accounts on the platform. Twitter says Musk's desire to end the deal is, quote, invalid and wrongful, end quote. Some analysts say Musk only wants to terminate the deal because Twitter shares have gone down since the deal was made. The deal is now likely heading for a lengthy court fight.
Time now, 5:37 and 81 degrees for now.
Still ahead on the morning show, why Starbucks is closing some of its stores due to employee safety concerns.
And coming up next, why a judge says Subway can now be sued for its claims about its tuna-based sandwiches.
Outside with live cam, 81 degrees at San Antonio International as we see traffic starting to pick up at the I-10 410 interchange. You're watching GMSA.
And welcome back. It's 5:40 in your morning consumer headlines. Starbucks is shutting down 16 of its stores due to safety-related concerns. Now, company officials say they received multiple in-house reports where staffers reported drug use by customers and the general public on Starbucks property. 6 locations will be closed in both Seattle and Los Angeles, followed by 2 in Portland and single spots in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. Starbucks says the employees at those soon-to-be shuttered cafes will be transferred. Now, the company is also giving store managers more leeway with the closing restrooms and limiting seating if safety becomes a concern.
Ever bought a tuna sandwich from Subway? The sandwich chain says it is 100% tuna, but some people think that claim's a little fishy. Last year, 2 people filed a suit in California saying Subway's tuna partially or wholly lacks tuna as an ingredient, and that it's actually other types of fish. Subway pushed back, saying the non-tuna DNA could be from eggs in mayonnaise or the result of cross-contact with other ingredients. But the judge in the case is not completely buying it. Just yesterday, he said it's too soon to accept that argument, that the lawsuit against Subway can move forward.
Google is celebrating NASA's new images from the James Webb Space Telescope with a special Google Doodle. It shows a smiling face on the telescope's golden mirrors as it snaps shots of the universe. Now, the cute cartoon is followed by the Webb Telescope's real-life images showing distant galaxies and star clusters billions of light years away.
Those images have been just purely stunning this week.
Yeah. Really
unbelievable. Okay, 5:42, 81 degrees on your Wednesday.
And coming up next, the Animal Defense League is standing by with a cute furry friend that needs a new home.
Well, Julie is here. Oh, look at those eyes on that little
Isn't he
bit.
cute?
Did you just wake up? Who's this?
This is Golden Graham. Is he not the cutest baby? So he was in a litter of eight puppies. So that happens all the time. We get these litters that are dumped. He actually came from ACS, but we get litters they get litters that are dumped. We get litters that are dumped. And we're talking 8 lives, 8 babies. But he's so cute. He's such a sweet, sweet boy.
He's going to be a big boy, though, too. And I mean, just probably that big old lunk of a dog that's going to take up all the room on the couch and love you and throw the ball in the backyard with the kids and everything.
Absolutely.
Like that, so.
He's identified as a lab terrier mix. So.
Okay. And what you got going on?
Okay, so all the shelters in Texas, and I'm sure beyond, but we're more in tune with Texas, we are at capacity. We're at capacity. Everybody's at capacity. We're getting calls from other shelters around the state. Everybody needs help. So we're celebrating with Kathy Bissell and the Bissell Pet Foundation this week because it's empty, the shelters. So, I mean, and it's true. Summer, we always get extra full because people are on vacation and it's just kind of seasonal.
Okay.
But we really need the public's help to please come out and adopt.
And when you adopt, then you also help out because that opens up a space for more pets to come on in there. So
exactly.
If you would like more information about little Golden Graham and all the adoption specials they have going on, head on over to the Animal Defense League, 11300 Nacogdoches, Paul Jolly Center right there across from the zoo. Give them a call, 655-14. 1481. He's whimpering a little bit.
A little crying.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a whiny one, but adorable.
Aw, so cute.
Well, it's not just people and animals, hi there, suffering from this triple-digit heat and severe drought, but also trees and plants.
Sarah Costa spoke with a local landscaper about what it is taking to keep our local vegetation alive.
We are halfway through the year, and the San Antonio International Airport has only recorded 5 inches of rain total. We have had 33 days of triple-digit temps. That combo of severe drought and heat has left our local vegetation weak and requires a lot of work on our part to keep it alive. Local landscaper Mark Fanek, co-owner of Fanek's Garden Center, says if you want your plants, grass, or trees to survive, you'll need to be smart about how you are watering them.
We don't want to just water the surface roots, we water the deep roots. And watering deep, 6-8 inches down is way better.
For your plants in the ground, he says envision filling up a 5-gallon bucket. That will keep the ground moist for several days. A good soil and mulch will also help retain water and keep your plants cool. And as for potted plants, Fanek says most will need to be watered daily, or even some twice a day.
Remember, if you are a SAWS customer, we are in stage 2 drought, which allows hand watering at any time of the day or any day. However, irrigation, sprinklers, or soaker hose are only allowed once a week between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. on your designated day.
Trees are suffering tremendously.
Fanek says for trees that are drying up, you want to water up to 18 inches deep into the soil on all sides.
So don't water next to the tree trunk. Make sure you're out far at the drip line.
For your grass, you'll want to make sure it gets at least 1 inch of water at least once a week. Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
548.
And I just saw construction there at Loop 410 McCullough. Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Yeah, still out there, and we're actually not really seeing any issues still. It's been pretty quiet, and no one's complaining about that, but always prepare to drive safe. 35 there at Loop 410. We know that's a usual busy spot, but elsewhere looking pretty good. 35 there at I-37 South. We're, again, just getting a few more folks out there as we're getting closer minute by minute to 6 a.m., so we can expect to see more people out there, and hopefully we're really not going to see as many problems. But let's go and take you right to the map, because it's been the same copy and paste kind of situation. The lanes still remain pretty green on the screen, but again, make sure you plan ahead, because we have a lot of road work that's taking place, as you can see right there on our map. This is actually going to be taking place as well over here off Loop 1604 on the northwest side of San Antonio. Barrier setting. Now, this did start last Tuesday, July 5th. Should be wrapping up, hopefully, by July 15th, according to TxDOT. But this is for those overnight commuters. It's from 9 p.m. to 5 in the morning. And I believe Mark may have been mentioning this a little bit earlier, where we saw some crews out in that direction, alternating eastbound main lane closure from Bandera Road to I-10. So we know there's a lot of work taking place in that side of town. So make sure you plan your commute accordingly. But right now, things are moving just fine back here on TransGuide. No problems to report just yet.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. So, Michael, what's happening?
Yeah.
He was talking about everything, minute by minute can change. I second that.
Yeah. Oh.
Get it? Minute, second.
Okay.
Mike, wow, you're on a roll this morning.
Anything not to talk about the heat this morning. Beautiful full moon out there. It is gorgeous, and it looks like it has set. I was looking out earlier this morning about, say, an hour and a half ago, and it was a little bit lower in the sky. But it's going to be coming up in the eastern sky just as the sun is going down later on this evening. So it's going to be beautiful out there. We've got a couple of clouds hanging around as of right now. And again, it feels like 87 degrees when you step outside out there at the airport. 85 Stinson, 89 is the heat index right now up the road at Canyon Lake. And that's, you factor in the temperatures, which are remaining very, very high. We are 5 or more degrees above normal right now. We're in the low 80s right now. 75 is the normal low temperature, and we'll stay in the low 80s this morning. A couple of clouds hanging around here, and then we'll make it up once that sun gets higher up in the sky. And any of these, I keep referring to yesterday, we had some of those clouds sticking around here. It looked encouraging that we wouldn't get that soon start on the heating process, but boy, once those clouds cleared out, that really didn't even matter. I mean, those temperatures just skyrocketed, and that's going to happen later on this morning. We'll be up to 90 at 10 o'clock and then pushing at 100 and triple digits in some areas by noon, and then getting up to 103 for a high today. that little chance for a couple of showers. Can't rule them out. Some folks will get some relief from the heat with a couple of showers popping up later on this afternoon. Nothing this morning. And again, it's going to be just hit or miss on who gets them, leaning more obviously toward the hill country, as was the case yesterday. And it looks like that's going to be the situation tomorrow as well. We'll have a couple of those popping up here and there, and that's pretty much going to be about it. Tropics, well, there's a little bit of a disturbance, and doesn't even look like much right off there off the coast of Mississippi, Alabama, which Hurricane Center's sort of keeping an eye on that it may form into something, but otherwise out in the rest of the Atlantic, and usually La Nina years, which is the situation over there in the Pacific Ocean. That's one of the reasons why we are so very, very hot this year. Usually there's more activity in the Atlantic, but now granted, we're only a month and a half, not even quite a month and a half into the hurricane season as of yet, but nothing out there right now, nothing that is catching the attention of the Hurricane Center. 98 degrees today at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature makes it up to 103. All right, so glass half full. We're down a couple of degrees from yesterday. We'll take that. A couple of stray showers out there as well. There is still heat advisories that go into effect at 1 o'clock up until 8 o'clock tonight for the eastern 2/3 of the area. And again, we always want to emphasize, even if there's nothing formally posted, obviously it is going to be just miserably hot out there. And other than temperatures fluctuating a couple of degrees, 95 is the normal high temperature right now. And we're well above that all the way through the weekend and going into next week still. No big changes around here.
By and large, Mike, we really haven't been sticking to the norm all year long, especially as things have started to warm up, right?
Well, even going back to, we've kind of been keeping track, and Justin had started this a few weeks ago, going back to the 1st of May, we've had now, I believe it's 61 days above 95.
Yeah.
We just now got up to the normal high temperature of 95 degrees. So, all that, pretty much almost all of the month of May and June was above 95 degrees. I think we had 1 or 2 days that were below normal.
And we have felt it.
Yes, we have. And then in the 30s as far as the triple
30,
digits?
34 we up to now.
Wow.
The running total.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Thank you, Mike. 554, 81 degrees.
By the way, I'll show
Okay.
All right.
Graphics coming up.
We'll look at our Lotto numbers for now. We'll take our mind off the heat. Pick 3, 379, Fireball 4, Daily 4, 1400, Fireball 1.
Cash 5 numbers 6, 8, 11, 28, 29, and Mega Millions 4, 7, 10, 45, 64, Mega Ball 12, Mega Plier 2.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the reaction this morning from the latest high-stakes hearing on the January 6th committee and the evidence that the march on the Capitol was planned. Also, the summer surge in COVID cases, concern growing about the fast-spreading new Omicron variant. White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha joins us to discuss that and so much more right here on GMA.
Well, ahead in the next hour, GMSA, disturbing new details in the case of the Turpin family in California. It involves children who were held captive in their own home. And we'll have the latest on a massive blaze overnight on the city's southwest side. We will take a closer look at the damage. We've got a new incident that has popped up right now, 90 at Couples area. Stephen Cavazos is gathering information as we speak. An update still to come.
Good morning, I'm Jonathan Cotto. San Antonio Fire Department responding to a massive fire on the city's south side. Coming up on GMSA, we'll tell you everything we know.
New this morning out of Uvalde, county leaders asking Governor Abbott to call a special session of the legislature to raise the age to legally buy assault-style rifles. Details ahead.
COVID cases climbing across the country. I'm Jay O'Brien in Washington. What the White House, the CDC, and FDA may be doing on booster shots coming up.
And taking a look outside with Live Cam this morning, the good news will be a few degrees cooler, if you will, than yesterday. But the bad news, it's still going to be hot.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts
right now.
And good morning to you. It's Wednesday, July 13th.
Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. We've gotten super creative when it comes to keeping cool. I know yesterday I was at my daughter's basketball camp and I was driving around the parking lot a little longer, not necessarily looking for a good spot close to the building, but looking for shade.
Looking for shade. And that makes sense. There's a strategy to it for sure. And it is hard to come by these days. Mike Ostrage is here. We were talking earlier this morning about some of the high temperatures Monday and Tuesday. And we're hoping a slight trend continues, and that is to shave off a degree or two in our afternoon highs.
And the one thing, Steph, I do have to take exception. I don't think you can use the word cooler. It's just not as hot.
2 degrees, 2 degrees
technically cooler, but yeah, when you're talking hundreds, it's just not as miserable. We'll put it that way. So, yeah, I don't know if we can use the word cool in this situation. While we're starting to see the glow of the early morning sunrise, no clouds out there. Of course, we did have some of those clouds yesterday, and that kind of held temperatures in check. It looked encouraging, but yeah, once those clouds cleared out, we got up to 105 yesterday. We're going to knock off a couple of degrees cooler than yesterday. 81 is the current air temperature, 82 Canyon Lake, 81 also Castroville, but a ton of humidity out there. So add 4, 5, 6 degrees to some of these numbers, and that's what it actually feels like. 89 is still the heat index up the road at Canyon Lake. Mold is moderate. Pigweed is on the low side, and throughout the day, temperatures will stay pretty steady at this point, bottoming out at 80. We'll have a wind out of the southeast to 10, 15 miles per hour, not overly breezy today, except in and around any of those showers or thunderstorms that may pop up in your area, but I wouldn't get too excited about rain chances today. 98 for a high temperature, 98 for a noon temperature. That would be actually on the above normal side, but we're going to make it up about 8 degrees above normal later on today. 103, and we'll have somewhat of a heat index. It'll feel a little bit warmer than that, even in the shade. And of course, we do have heat advisories that go into effect at 1 o'clock up until 8 o'clock for the eastern 2/3 of the area. Again, we always like to emphasize, even if there's not anything formally posted where you are, you obviously just have to really take it easy. A lot of water, a lot of shade. Couple of showers today, maybe tomorrow. Weekend forecast, that's coming up in just a few minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, what's going on?
Starting that 6 a.m. hour, Mike, with some issues on the roadway. US 90 at Couples. Let's go ahead and get a wider look from TransGuide. Not a pretty sight. Unfortunately, we are reporting a crash that was detected by TxDOT just minutes ago, and you can see that we have a pretty active scene out over there. Lots of those flashing lights, and we are already starting to see a buildup, and it is not a good one. This is in the westbound lanes of US 90, so if you are leaving the downtown area, perhaps to Castroville, you'll likely detect that. So we're picking it up around Couples Road, not far from General Hudnall. So again, an area we're going to watch closely, but right now it does look like we're going to have to start looking for some alternative routes in those westbound lanes because we just saw that buildup turn red. Not a pretty sight again, but we'll watch it closely. But elsewhere, thankfully, some relief. We're just seeing some green on the screen. Lots of, really, the roads are pretty open right now, but we always want to encourage you to drive safe, make sure that you make the right decisions when you get out on the roadway. If you are going to be traveling into San Antonio, we have these travel times for you right now. 37 northbound. It's still pretty pleasant from Pleasanton on 20 with 28 minutes coming in those northbound lanes, from 37. Now, those eastbound lanes from Highway 90 aren't being impacted by that crash because that's in the westbound lane, but you can still expect about half an hour to downtown San Antonio and 16 minutes if you're coming up from 35 northbound and Lytle. But again, the issue here, we're going to jump back to TransGuide if we can. US 90 at Couples. We're going to have more updates. Hopefully everybody's okay. Mark, stuff.
Thank you, Stephen. New information this morning into the Robb Elementary School shooting. The Uvalde County Commission has formally passed a resolution calling for raising the age to buy AR-15 style weapons. The resolution asks Governor Greg Abbott to call for a special session of the Texas legislature to consider increasing the age from 18 to 21 to purchase those semi-automatic and assault style rifles. In the resolution, the commissioners also say, quote, "It is our duty to protect every person and child of Uvalde County," end quote. The request echoes other school districts and lawmakers across the state who have all recently asked the governor to call a special session. After the shooting, Abbott had asked for the formation of special committees to discuss school safety, but has not called for a special session yet. We're going to have more on the new developments in Uvalde coming up in the next half hour of GMSA.
And firefighters had their hands full with a massive fire on the city's southwest side. Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live now. And Jonathan, was anyone hurt in this fire?
Good morning, Stephanie. And that's actually the good news here this morning is that no injuries were reported, but we do know it was an intense situation for San Antonio firefighters. Let's take a look at what that scene looked like close to midnight last night. We know firefighters arrived at a heavy fire at this auto repair and storage facility on the 11,000 block of Gaylord Drive. This is just outside of Southwest Loop 410. Now, we know several vehicles on fire, as well as the building and the grass around that structure. Firefighters tell us they had to run a long line to get water to the fire. But again, the good news here, Stephanie, is that no injuries were reported. We did learn that arson made the scene and are currently investigating the root cause of this fire. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. And new details on a fire at a CPS Energy substation. The utility says it believes the flames were part of equipment failure. They say it's not uncommon for electrical equipment to have a service issue and fail from ongoing use, just like any part of a car. Now, this happened on Monday near Pyron and Hancock on the city's south side. CPS Energy says it knocked out power to almost 5,000 people. That outage lasted 48 minutes during Monday's triple-digit heat.
Mixed reaction from residents down in Pleasanton after break-ins at a school and at the district's police department. The suspects and weapons they're accused of stealing are in custody this morning. All this happened July 7th, the day before a new district chief took over the department. According to Chief Michael Gilbert, two men were able to break the lock off two exterior doors with a crowbar. Once inside, they stole a department-issued AR-15 and a shotgun, as well as a handgun and long rifle from an evidence locker.
I think it's insane. This was not just a simple school break-in. This was a mass security breach where deadly weapons were taken.
I think that the district is well aware of we've had issues and they are trying to take care of it.
Gilbert tells us the suspects were caught a few hours after the theft and face multiple felony charges. He says his department now has a new 12-gun safe to store its weapons.
This morning, COVID-19 cases are climbing nationwide, and more than half are estimated to be linked to the newest subvariant of Omicron, BA.5. Doctors warn it's more transmissible than past strains of the virus and could still infect people. ABC's Jay O'Brien reports.
Good morning. BA.5 is a subvariant, another form of the Omicron variant, and the Centers for Disease Control estimates it makes up more than 65% of new COVID cases in the U.S. This morning, COVID cases making a comeback. The more infectious BA.5 subvariant sending cases climbing across the country, and the White House now responding. Dr. Anthony Fauci saying,
variants will continue to emerge if the virus circulates globally and in this country.
BA.5 makes up more than half of the more than 100,000 estimated new cases per day in the U.S. That number believed to be even higher since the results of most at-home tests go unreported. And experts warn this subvariant is able to sidestep pre-existing COVID immunity, even for those who were infected in the first Omicron wave. The White House signaling the FDA and the CDC may soon expand eligibility for the second COVID booster shot, which right now is only open to Americans over 50. The CDC estimates only 27% of Americans in that age group have received the second booster.
For people who are 50 years of age or older, my message is simple. If you have not gotten one this year, please go get another vaccine shot. It could save your life.
Meanwhile, major U.S. cities like New York and Los Angeles were turning to urging residents to mask up indoors and in crowded outdoor settings. Moderna says it's developed a booster that's more effective against BA.5 than the current shot. The drug maker plans to submit its data to the FDA later this week, but those new shots likely wouldn't be available until the fall. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
And we'll get a new look today at how fast prices have been rising when the June inflation numbers are released. And there are worries that high home prices could keep fueling inflation. Housing makes up 2/5 of the core consumer price index put out by the Labor Department.
Stocks taking a tumble for the third session in a row. Tuesday's closing bell saw both the S&P and NASDAQ fall 0.9%. The Dow finished 0.6% lower. Also dropping oil. Concerns about economic slowdowns have eaten into oil prices. Brent crude closing at just under $100 a barrel, down more than 7%.
And back here at home, the summer heat is hitting us hard, but it's created some good business for places that can help keep you cool.
Okay, so our crews visited ice cream and fruit cup shops on the west side. They say they're grateful to see a steady flow of business.
And the movie theater is also seeing a boom in business. In fact, Santikos at Westlakes just got a renovation, and now they also have cup holders that can actually keep your drinks cold. And of course, the Ice and Golf Center at North Woods has public skating hours daily between 12:30 and 3 p.m. for about $14.
Find out more about these locations on KSAT.com. Right now, 6:11, about 80 degrees.
And a man is dead this morning after he was struck by two vehicles on the city's northeast side. We're going to have those details coming up a little later on GMSA.
We're also going to have the disturbing new details coming out of a California investigation that involved more than 13 children held captive in their own home for years.
The January 6th committee saying former President Trump egged on extremist groups. I'm Jay O'Brien in Washington. The bombshell at the end of that hearing coming up.
Triple digits again. That's what we're expecting. But it is Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week. Wishing you guys a great day. We'll see you after the break.
6:15, welcome back now to the new evidence from the January 6th committee focusing on former President Trump, claiming his actions summoned the mob to storm the U.S. Capitol.
The committee claims Trump even planned the march to the Capitol. ABC's Jay O'Brien has the latest.
This morning, the committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol suggests former President Trump may have tried to influence witness testimony after calling a witness not yet seen at the hearings. It's unclear what, if anything, the Justice Department will do with the committee's referral. The committee heard testimony yesterday from former White House counsel Pat Cipollone, who described a, quote, unhinged meeting at the White House on December 18th involving a group of outside advisors to the president looking to challenge the 2020 election results. Among them, retired General Michael Flynn and lawyers Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, who wanted Trump to issue an order to seize voting machines. Cipollone says he raced to the Oval Office when he found out about the meeting.
To have the federal government seize voting machines, it's a terrible idea for the country. That's not how we do things in the United States.
When the meeting finished, Trump tweeted his supporters calling on them to come to Washington on January 6th, saying it will be wild. Stephen Ayers, an Ohio man who pleaded guilty to participating in the riot, testified that that tweet from Trump inspired him to travel to Washington.
Basically, the president, got everybody riled up.
Ayers said he only left the Capitol after Trump posted a video telling rioters to leave.
If he would have done that earlier in the day, 1:30, we wouldn't be in this. Maybe we wouldn't be in this bad of a situation.
The committee also showed a drafted tweet not sent by Trump, which called on his supporters to, quote, march to the Capitol on January 6th. Committee members claim it shows the attack was premeditated. The committee's next public hearing is set for next Thursday. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
All right, let's get another look here at US 90 at Couples. Unfortunately, we do not have a better update. It actually looks like it's getting progressively worse out there. This is in the westbound lanes. A crash reported not far from Couples and General Hudnall. You can see plenty of flashing lights indicating a pretty heavy first responder presence. And unfortunately, we're already starting to see that pickup of traffic. No information just yet. Of course, we always hope everyone is okay in these types of situations, but traffic is not doing okay right now. Let's go ahead and take you right to the map. I've been working to look for some alternative routes, still working on that right now, but we can tell you that buildup is taking place in the westbound lanes. Again, not far from Couples Road and General Hudnall. So an area that you want to make sure you can drive carefully through. If you can, maybe avoid it and look for an alternative route, but we'll be doing the same thing throughout the morning. Now let's go ahead and give you a wide look at the map because there is some relief here as we see a lot more green than we do red or orange. So that does indicate that things are moving fine elsewhere around the city, but you see a lot of those active construction spots. And as a quick reminder for our friends in Guadalupe County, we'll continue to see guardrail repairs taking place all the way up until tomorrow. So this will start at 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. But we do know those crews do try to beat the heat as well and get out there a little bit earlier. That should wrap around 5 in the afternoon. Again, single lane closures in both directions from State Highway 46 to FM 477. So make sure that you plan ahead, but always make sure that you watch for the first responders that are right here. US 90 at Couples are working to make the roads safe. So hopefully we'll have a better update before GMSA wraps up this morning, guys.
Look forward to it. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Mike.
You can see a little bit of the morning sunrise, the glow of the sunrise over my shoulder right there. Temperatures are in the mid-upper 70s, 81 here at the airport. The normal average low temperature is 75, so we're still 6 above that. And that top number, the dew point, is still at 72, which means there's a bunch of humidity out there this morning. So we do have heat index readings to deal with. Of course, today is the full moon, and a lot of folks have been sending in some beautiful pictures. And a couple of those clouds looks like something from Halloween almost, the full buck moon. Oh, it's a beautiful picture. Thank you very much for that. All right. How many days have we been above where we should be? We were talking last half hour how temperatures have stayed so far above normal. Just today, the normal high temperature is 95 degrees. So going back to May the 1st, we've had 61 days where we have been above 95 degrees. That's almost every single day. I mean, there were a couple of exceptions here and there. You think about in June, there was only one day that was actually below its respective normal. And as far as 100-degree days, we are now at 34. Of course, the record is 59 set back in 2009. And a good chunk of those were in the month of August. And we're only, a week, almost 2 weeks into July. 85 is the heat index right now here in town. Same thing, Castroville, still 87 is what it feels like in Canyon Lake. Temperatures were in the low 80s, will stay low 80s, bottom out at 80 degrees. And then once that sun gets a little higher in the sky, it's going to really start to heat things up. Mid 90s at 11 o'clock, 98 at noon, and then already so we cross into the early afternoon hours, we will reach triple-digit temperatures, getting up to 103 today. One or two of those stray showers, thunderstorms like we've had the past couple of days, are going to be popping up later on this afternoon. Probably count them on one hand. Maybe the majority of those up to the north or off to the northwest in parts of the hill country. And of course, they'll stick around into the early evening hours, then start to die down. Same thing then tomorrow. We'll have one or two of those stray showers out there. That high is moving off to the west. We've been hoping for a little bit of a kind of an easterly wave or a little bit of a break in the action here with, getting something coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. But the other part of this high is just going to start to build in. That thing stays in place and really doesn't go anywhere. It's just going to be still sitting on top of us. We might see some weakness coming in here by next week to give us a chance for some rain. But again, this is all just kind of wishful thinking, as I've been saying, as far as any changes, because it just doesn't look like there's anything substantial as far as any changes coming up. 98 at noon, 103 high temperature today, a stray shower or two, especially off in portions of the hill country. Again, we do have heat advisories in effect 1 until 8 o'clock tonight. Even though you don't have a formal heat advisory, take it easy, of course. And we are looking at triple-digit temperatures across the board all the way in through the first part of next week. Yeah, things that make you go,
We'll just tough it out. Again.
That's getting hard to do.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
622, about 80 degrees.
And coming up on GMSA, a major development in the Murdaugh family murder mystery that's ahead in your GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a major development in the Murdaugh family mystery. ABC News has confirmed prosecutors in South Carolina are seeking an indictment against Alec Murdaugh for the brutal deaths of his wife and son.
Are they breathing?
No, ma'am. My wife and my son.
And what is your name?
My name is Alec Murdaugh. Please hurry. Neither one of them's moving.
Alec Murdaugh making that 911 call just over a year ago, claiming to have found Maggie and Paul Murdaugh shot to death outside their rural South Carolina home.
Maggie loved Paul like nothing else on this earth.
I can tell you, he was willing and still is willing to do anything that's asked of him. He wants this solved.
Prosecutors now preparing to charge Murdaugh, a long-standing person of interest. Coming up at 7 a.m., we'll talk live to legal expert Dan Abrams. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
Right now, 625, about 80 degrees.
And much more to come on GMSA at 6:30. We're going to tell you what experts are calling purposeful parenting and how your family can benefit.
And Uvalde County leaders urging the governor to call a special session of the Texas legislature to raise the age to legally buy assault-style rifles in the Lone Star State. We'll have the very latest.
And checking on Trends Guide, a big mess out there at Highway 90 at Zarzamora. We're going to be checking in with our Stephen Cavazos after the break.
Good morning, I'm Jonathan Cotto. A call to the Texas legislature to host a special session to increase the age from 18 to 21 to purchase a semi-automatic or assault-style rifle. We'll have those details coming up on GMSA.
A man is dead this morning after he was hit by two vehicles on the northeast side. We'll have more on the investigation.
And the man is fighting for his life also after an overnight shooting on the west side. We're going to tell you how this all started.
Outside with live cam, enjoy while you can. We've got a beautiful sunrise out there. Only 80 degrees at San Antonio International Airport. We'll find out how hot it was yesterday and Mike's predicted high for today. Good morning, everybody. We've made it to Wednesday, the 13th.
Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. I like the way you say that. Only 80 degrees.
Only 80 degrees for now. And that's probably going to be our morning low, Mike Osterhage, right?
And to put it in perspective, 75 is the normal average low temperature. So we're 5 above that. And then later on today, it won't be as hot as yesterday. So just going to stop right there. 107 on Monday, 105 yesterday, and we're going to be up to 103 later on today, and a jet going to places unknown. We've got a few clouds out there hanging around this morning. 81 degrees, 72 is the dew point, measure of moisture, and that just means there's a bunch of humidity out there. So we've got heat index readings right now, and well, temperatures upper 70s, low 80s, and then factor in that humidity. 87 is what it feels like Canyon Lake, 85 at the airport, Castroville, and 82 over at Randolph. Moderate mold, low amount of pigweed. Updated count's going to come out in about an hour or so. Warm and humid this morning, and then later on today, yeah, still blisteringly hot. I mean, anytime you're above 100, I think we go into that category, although down a couple of degrees. And like the past couple of days, 1 or 2 of those stray showers, thunderstorm, probably count them on one hand. Tomorrow, a degree or 2 lower, still a shower or 2. And then we go into the weekend. It looks like we just kind of take that degree or 2 lower and add it back in here. So it is going to be a bit hotter over the weekend. Is there anything as far as any broad changes in sight? We will talk about that. Also, heat advisory goes into effect later on this afternoon, 1 o'clock up until 8 o'clock. Definitely take it easy. Lots and lots of water and shade. Traffic Authority, Stephen, what's going on? Big problems out there, right?
Yeah, exactly, Mike. 90 West at Zarzamora. Our friends at TransGuide moved that camera around so we can get a view of the parking lot that we are seeing out over there. Not a good area to be right now. This is in the westbound lanes of US 90. And you can see first responders are directing drivers toward that exit out in the distance. Can't really make it out exactly which exit they're taking, but you can see that buildup is already starting to cause a nightmare for drivers in that direction. So as we mentioned, this is in the westbound lanes of US 90, not far from Couples Road and General Hudnall, where you can see those 2 icons placed on our map, and you can see that big buildup of red also taking place. So I've been busy looking at some alternative routes. Here's a quick suggestion if you can. If you're heading on I-10, exit South Laredo. I've mapped it out there for you in blue. What you'll do then is take a right onto Zarzamora and then take a left onto Castroville Road. You'll hit a few traffic lights along the way, but it beats hitting some of those stoplights or flashing lights we see along US 90. That may be a better route to take if you are trying to get into that area. But let's go ahead and just give you that wide look at the map, because we want to show our viewers that there is some relief out there. Lots of green on the screen, more than we're seeing the red. But again, that's going to be an area that we're going to have to watch closely. We're getting close to that morning rush hour, basically already there, as you can see back here on TransGuide 90 West at Zarzamora. I'll call our friends at TransGuide, see what they're seeing, and we'll give you those updates coming up in the next few minutes. Mark, Steph.
Thank you, Stephen. We go now to new information in the Uvalde school shooting.
A resolution has formally passed calling for raising the age to buy AR-15 style weapons. Jonathan Cotto joins us live with the details. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, Stephanie, and that's right. That resolution asks Governor Greg Abbott to call for a special session of the Texas legislature to consider raising the age from 18 to 21 for those interested in purchasing a semi-automatic or assault-style rifle. Now, those commissioners that form part of that resolution say, quote, "It is our duty to protect every person and child of Uvalde County." The request echoes other school districts and lawmakers across the state who have all recently asked the governor for a special session. After the shooting, Abbott had asked for the formation of special committees to talk about school safety, but has not called for a special session just yet. Now, Mark, Stephanie, of course, this is a story that we're going to continue to follow closely on air and online at our website, KSAT.com. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. It was another heated city council meeting in Uvalde last night.
The meeting happening just hours after the Austin American-Statesman leaked video from Robb Elementary the day of the shooting. The video is graphic. You hear gunfire inside the classroom and law enforcement waiting in the hallway before they breach the door and kill the gunman. The video was originally supposed to be released on Sunday, first privately to the families and then to the public shortly thereafter.
Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin did not hold back in criticism of the early release.
The gunmen coming in and hear the gunshots. They don't even relive that. They've been through enough. And that was the most chicken way to put this video out.
Anybody see them do a good job? Just because they tried to go in there, was that good enough? Was that good enough for the people that were bleeding out? That wasn't good enough.
And while the release of the video took much of the attention of the City Council last night, the vote to accept Uvalde CISD Police Chief Pete Arredondo's resignation from the City Council was met with cheers.
Also new this morning, San Antonio police say one person is dead after being hit by twice by vehicles. Happened just after 10 last night near the intersection of Walsham and Abbey Place on the northeast side near Eisenhower. SAPD says the driver who hit the man had run out in the street. Police say the victim was then hit again by an SUV and dragged down the road. SAPD says the driver of that vehicle did not stop to try to help. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. So far, no word on any arrests.
And cleanup is underway this morning after a massive fire at a Southside auto repair and storage facility. This happened around 11 last night on Gaylord Drive. That's outside of Loop 410, just off of Palo Alto Road. Now, crews tell us that they arrived to heavy flames and smoke. Several vehicles were on fire as well. No one was hurt in that fire. The cause is still not known at this time.
San Antonio police say a man is in critical condition after someone shot him during an argument and possible assault. This happened around 11 last night in the 8600 block of Harvest Moon, west of 410 on the city's west side. SAPD says a woman claims she was being assaulted by the man, so she shot him. Police say the woman drove the man to a nearby fire station for help, and he was taken to a hospital with possible life-threatening injuries. The woman was detained for questioning.
San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers are asking for your help to solve a nearly 5-year-old murder case. This happened back on July 27th of 2017 outside a West Side home on El Paso Street, not far from Castroville Road. Police say a gray Nissan approached 31-year-old Christopher Lozano, and someone inside that vehicle started shooting. Lozano later died at the hospital. Now, if you know anything that can lead to an arrest in this case, you're asked to call that number on your screen, 210-224-STOP. You could get a reward of up to $5,000.
Now to the disturbing case of the Turpin family, the California children held in captive in their own home for years.
New report details how social services failed them, and now authorities are promising change.
ABC's Andrea Fajii has more.
This morning, a new push for change after a report revealing the failures of local officials in Southern California who were supposed to help the 13 Turpin siblings.
The children of this community, state, and nation deserve better.
The Turpin kids made global headlines in 2018 after escaping from their parents' home where they had been held captive for years, confined to a life of filth, until one daughter broke free and called police. But it's what happened after the children escaped that was the subject of an investigation unveiled yesterday by the Riverside County Board of Supervisors, detailing how social services fail the children. The report found some of the younger Turpin siblings were placed in the homes of caregivers who were later charged with abuse, and some of the older children had trouble finding food and stable housing. One described their ordeal to Diane Sawyer last year.
I don't really have a way to get food right now. One of my brothers and me are the ones that don't have a place to really stay, and we're just being passed around.
The report found local social workers were simply too overwhelmed, each of them handling between 98 and 113 cases each due to a lack of staffing. Another shocking development, more than $1 million donated by the public for the Turpin children's care went unused. Local officials yesterday voted to study changes to programs and services to better help at-risk kids in the future. As for the Turpin children now, the DA says they're doing well. Their parents are serving 25 years to life in prison. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
And abortion access is far from a settled matter in the U.S. 2 more courts pushed back on state abortion restrictions.
House and Senate committees are discussing abortion access today. Comes as the Justice Department announces a reproductive rights task force to what they say safeguard things like patient privacy and access to medication abortion. Well, days after Elon Musk said he wanted to back out of his deal to buy Twitter, the social network is taking him to court.
The company says Musk is trying to walk away from the $44 billion bid after trashing the company and, in its words, destroying stockholder value.
Right now, 6:39, about 80 degrees.
And the month of July has been named by officials as Purposeful Parenting Month. But what exactly does that mean? So ahead on GMSA, we're going to tell you how your family can benefit. And welcome back at 6:43. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has designated July as Purposeful Parenting Month.
So what exactly does that mean? David Sears tells us how it can benefit your family.
When it comes to parenting, there are many styles.
In a way, I'm a snowplow, but I expect her to clear her own obstacles.
I was pretty much hands-off. My wife, she's a very disciplinary person.
Very laid back, free range.
One approach, called Purposeful Parenting, is endorsed by the American Academy of Pediatrics. But what is it? Purposefully parenting involves setting long-term goals for your kids and then parenting intentionally to help them achieve those goals. Ask yourself what traits you want your kids to have as adults. Maybe it's hard work or intelligence or compassion. You essentially work backwards with the end result in mind. If a child is throwing a tantrum, a purposeful parent might try to find the motivation behind the action. Are they tired, scared, or do they want attention? Once you've figured out the purpose, you can help your child learn skills to avoid that negative behavior. The approach also involves meeting your child's physical needs, setting expectations, showing love and acceptance, and being positive and playful. It's a strategy that can help parents and kids grow in their relationship.
Being purposeful doesn't mean you'll be the perfect parent. Just try your best. Studies have shown that parents who work hard to have positive relationships with their children are more likely to have kids with a higher self-esteem and less likely to suffer from depression. David Sears, KSAT 12 News.
Just about 6:45.
And it's still a mess out there on Highway 90. And Zara Zamora, let's check back with Stephen Cavazos.
That's right. We did get some information, though. That exit, as drivers, you can see there on TransGuide. Law enforcement is actually asking drivers to take that exit toward Port San Antonio, General Hudnall. You can see a lot of those drivers are having a really difficult time doing that because part of US 90 is seeing some closures out there due to this major crash. And I always like to mention this. We're not sure exactly how many people are hurt in this, but we hope everybody is okay. But right now, traffic is just not looking good in that area. Westbound lanes of US 90 there near Couples Road is where it's been picked up at. And you can see the buildup also taking place in the eastbound lanes. But that could just be the usual traffic as commuters are starting to make their way into the Alamo City. The thing about Highway 90 is that we know a lot of people travel this route, so we can probably see this get progressively worse if the scene is not cleared. So here's a quick suggestion. Mentioned this a little bit earlier. It's going to take you a little while, but it beats sitting in that traffic. Exit South Laredo Street and take a right at South Zarzamora. Then take a left at Guadalupe Street and you'll continue on Castroville Road to US 90 Frontage Road. And that will take you a little bit longer, but it will probably take you a lot longer sitting in that traffic if you have somewhere you need to be. So keep in mind, you may encounter some flashing lights along the way, stoplights, but beat seeing those flashing lights out on the highway. Now let's get a wide look at the map. Thankfully, no other problems to report just yet. Active construction spots, so make sure you watch out for those TxDOT crews that are out there, but we don't have better news to report out here yet, guys.
Not yet. Okay, thank you, Stephen. Mike, I did a double take on this picture. I actually thought that was one of your boys when he was younger.
But he's got the right idea, although my question, first of all, how many of us could fit in there? And second, in this heat, I wonder how long it takes that water to heat up.
I know that we would be welcome because that is one of our regular viewers, Yvonne Cherney, over in the SeaWorld area.
Is in the shade there, and love all those little gators and toys and stuff like that.
Dinosaur collection.
I like that there's shade over the pool.
Yeah, because otherwise that would heat up really quickly. So, boy, anything you can find, be it an inflatable kiddie pool or anything like that. A couple of clouds are hanging around here right now. And yeah, yesterday the clouds looked like they were going to help us out. But as soon as they cleared on out, boy, temperatures just skyrocketed. We did get up to 105. And that was the 13th day in a row that we have hit triple-digit temperatures. So we are now in third place, and it's likely that we're going to be moving into second place given the forecast around here. And it was back in 1962 we had 21 in a row. There were a lot in 2009, but the longest stretch was just 12 days in a row back in 2009, which obviously is now tied for fourth place as far as the longest consecutive strings of triple-digit days. We've had 34 so far this year, and we're going to keep racking those up. 85 is what it feels like right now when you factor in the humidity. 87 Canyon Lake, and throughout the day temperature right now is going to be holding steady right around 80, and then we'll still keep some of those clouds around here. Boy, that sun comes up and thermometers are just going to be skyrocketing. 98 at noon. We'll already be in the hundreds at early afternoon, and then 103 for a high temperature. Again, 10% chance for 1 or 2, I'm just trying to say, of those showers to pop up later on this afternoon. Just a few and far between, a couple of them here and there. And unfortunately, most of us won't see rain again today. You'll get a little bit of a break from the heat, obviously, and then we will do it again tomorrow. 1 or 2 of those showers are going to be popping up here or there in the afternoon. But as far as anything, broad changes to the forecast, the weather pattern? Unfortunately not. 98, partly cloudy at noon, 103 high temperature. So that will be the 14th day in a row that we have hit triple-digit readings. Heat advisory goes into effect at 1 o'clock up until 8 o'clock for about the eastern 2/3 of our area. But again, even though you don't have anything formally posted, obviously take it easy, lots of shade, and find a kiddie pool or big person pool. Triple digits all the way through the weekend. We'll still knock off a couple of degrees tomorrow and Friday, but then add those back in over the weekend and the first part of next week.
Now, the problem with those smaller pools is they almost instantly turn into hot tubs.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah,
later in the day, you hope they cool down overnight.
Yeah, I hope you can find some shade to put that pool.
Add some fresh water from the hose.
A couple of bags of ice.
There you go.
That's not a bad idea.
Now you're thinking, Mike Osterhage. If you do it, let us know. Okay?
Yes.
Hicks or it didn't happen.
Yeah, sure.
649, 80 degrees.
And according to new data, around 65% of college students graduate with debt. Tomorrow on GMSA, how to tackle paying it off.
And Mother Nature, if you're listening or watching, we are willing to bribe you if you just work with us a little bit here. The clouds are helping right now. 80 degrees at San Antonio International. We'll be right back.
Ladies, 6 minutes, please. This is my life. It's not always picture perfect. Plus, I'm dealing with bleeding from uterine fibroids. Enter MyFembry, a once-daily pill for women with heavy menstrual bleeding due to uterine fibroids.
With MyFembry, heavy bleeding went down by 84%. Serious risks include heart attack, stroke, and blood clots. Don't take MyFembry if you've had any of these or have uncontrolled high blood pressure, are over 35 and smoke, could be pregnant, or have or had osteoporosis, liver disease, undiagnosed vaginal bleeding, certain cancers, or an allergic reaction to it. Don't use longer than 2 years as bone loss may occur. Pregnancy loss can occur and changes in periods may make it hard to know if you're pregnant. If you think you are, stop taking it right away. Other risks are depression, suicidal thoughts or actions, abnormal liver tests, high blood pressure, and passing of the fibroid.
Less bleeding, same life? I'll take it.
Ask your doctor about MyFembry.
My life, MyFembry.
Good morning, I'm Jonathan Cotto. A new resolution passing calling to raise the age from 18 to 21 for those interested in purchasing a semi-automatic or an assault-style rifle. In the resolution, the commissioner also says, quote, "It is our duty to protect every person and child of Uvalde County." The request echoes other school districts and lawmakers across the state who have all recently asked the governor for a special session. After the shooting, Abbott had asked for the formation of special committees to talk about school safety, but has not called for a special session just yet. Now, this is a story that we're going to continue to follow closely on air and online at KSAT.com. Reporting Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Coming up today on GMSA at 9, Southside ISD has a fast-growing district, and they're looking for new teachers ahead of the next school year.
Our Max Massey spoke with a school district about the incentives being offered to new teachers and gives us an update on the progress Southside ISD is making.
Plus, we're getting an up-close look at sharks and learning more about them, including the important role they play in our ecosystem. Those stories and more today on GMSA at 9.
And for now, let's get one last look at traffic with Stephen Cavazos.
Not a good update. Again, unfortunately, we are still seeing the issues along US 90 near Couples Road. Gosh, that looks like a parking lot, but you can see on the westbound lanes, we do have first responders that are out there following a crash scene that has caused a major issue on the roadways right now. Keep in mind, westbound lanes of US 90 are what's being impacted at this moment, but we're also seeing the usual buildup along the eastbound lanes where we see commuters make their way into the Alamo City. We're going to be looking at those alternative routes throughout the morning, but as we get a wide look at the map, really not a lot else to talk about, but a crash up toward New Braunfels. We'll have some updates, Mike.
Thank you, sir. And got a couple of clouds hanging around here already this morning. They have moved on in. We'll keep those around this morning, but then they'll clear on out, and that's not going to prevent us from really heating up. We're at 81 right now, and you can add 20 or more to that. 98 at noon, 103 for a high temperature today. One or two of those stray showers out there. Of course, heat advisory goes into effect at 1 o'clock up until 8 o'clock for the eastern 2/3 of the area, and triple digits are going to be continuing.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. Thanks for starting your day with us here on GMSA.
Be careful out there. Stay cool. We'll see you back here at 9.
Good Morning America is next.